Yeah, it's a forced mindset where you're almost at an entrepreneurial level with the service that you're building. And not only that, but remember we talked about the defects when you find the defects, right? So
Hmm.
just imagine in that agile environment, let's imagine we're delivering every 3 weeks, but you could be 2 weeks depending on maturity. We're delivering every 3 weeks. We are not going to change that delivery because that would impact our schedule and our scope. So that
Yep.
means that we are committed to that scope. But what ends up happening is a developer will get to what they consider done from their perspective. Now, we don't know done is different from every perspective across the pipeline. But at that
Absolutely.
point,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so at that point, the thing is, again, remember what we talked about earlier about finding the defect. When you find that defect, the developer was just in that code base. They know exactly, as soon as you report that defect at an agile level, they don't have to go looking for the defect because it was done a year ago. They were just in that code base. They know exactly where that defect is. They can go and
Yep.
make that change on the fly. We can
Hmm.
validate that change and confirm that we're going to meet our commitment to our end user based on what the product owner thinks is acceptable. Now, what ends up happening is you eventually end up having a small manifest of improvements. It could be enhancements or resolutions to defects, but you have a small manifest of deliveries to your customer. That's not the end of that feedback. Remember, the product owner is responsible for trying to meet or exceed the customer's expectations. So that product owner is the hub spoke, so to speak, for the feedback of not just the customer, but any feedback that could be
Understood.
valued because they're responsible for the return of the investment on those 3 week turnarounds. So when you go to deliver that demo, we were at the state we were at before we delivered, which should
Hmm.
stay and remain. We don't want to regress any of our software or systems. And now we're delivering new features. So we go into that demo, we deliver those new features. And at that point in time, we're expecting the customer to give us very good information for what's next. And at that time, that's also when the product owner is looking at the backlog of things that we know we need to fix to try to organize those in a manner that the development team can deliver the most return of investment. They're not going to take the quick wins and just keep hitting those quick wins and not looking at some of those long-term strategies. There's going to be a little piece of everything inside of that 3 week window,
Hmm.
including opportunities to improve upon your DevSecOps pipeline itself. So,
Yeah.
the opportunity to actually work on infrastructure, you could have engineers that are working on that, the cybersecurity element. The other side of this is that being in cybersecurity and working on software development, as I have from the time that I was a Marine early on, and we're talking about,
Hmm.
like you said, 1996, 2004. Back then, the cybersecurity was the Wild West. This was before DISA Gold Stigs, before common vulnerability,
Yeah.
CVEs, and all
Yep.
that stuff. It was very Wild West and very rogue, very manual. There wasn't
Yep.
automation,
Yep.
and
Yeah.
and
And
there were
reactive.
lots.
Yeah.
Absolutely, there were lots of opportunities for the enemy to get into our systems.